Happy Monday. If you are watching me on replay, put it in the comments, hashtag replay. We'll give everybody a couple minutes to get on, get myself situated here. I got myself in a new place today. So I had Melissa a little bit confused as to where I am, but those of you who've been in the shop know I'm kind of, well, might recognize that I'm in the cotton and cotton blends section, I guess. Hi, Oriana. Okay. Hi, Brenda. Leanne. Oh, this is bugging me so much. I had to rip out some on the sleeve of my sweater, so I can't, I have, I have just regular stockinette knitting to do, but I can't do it because uh it's not on the needles right now. Hi, Cindy. Hi, Jackie. Hello, Mother. Hi, Joyce. Fran. Oh, good. We got all kinds of people on here today. I love it. Holly, redoing Mom's trellis, working on a mistake rib scarf. Yeah, so everybody tell me what you're working on. Hi, Nicole. I wish there was a high val. I wish there was an easy way to for Facebook to be smart enough to, like, when you made a comment about the pattern that you're making, that it would like magically link it. I mean, I know that's impossible to do, but it would be kind of fun. Hi, Ruth. All right, so well, let's go ahead and get started. It's after 2. So welcome to Monday Motivation. Today is Monday, January 15th. I just wrote it and still I have to look again. My name is Kristen. I am the owner of the Little Yarn Shop located in downtown Saginaw, Michigan, inside the SBRC Marketplace. So one of the things I wanted to mention right away, I normally talk about our hours for the marketplace. Our marketplace as a whole is changing their hours by an hour starting January 31st. So January 31st is a Wednesday. That gives us 2 weeks before it shifts. But the marketplace as a whole is changing their hours to 11 to 7. We are keeping our opening hours at 10. So our hours will be 10 to 7 instead of 11 to 7 Wednesday through Saturday. So it's not really going to mean a whole lot for many of you other than now you know if you get out of work in the evening and you need to run in for a yarn emergency or a needle emergency, you've got a little bit more time to do that. However, we're here late anyway already on Wednesdays and Thursdays and Saturdays. So really, just make a mental note that we're here an hour later on Fridays. That's about the only difference. Noelle, Frozen, Texas. I don't even be talking to me about frozen stuff. I know you guys are not at all prepared for it though, so I sympathize. Hi, Jill. Hi, Shar. Let me go back through and see Tammy, Sherry, Mom working on staying warm. Yes. Joyce working on the same shawl and sweater. Linda, Mary working on an arboreal sweater and a Christmas sock. Cool. Yes. Hi, Aunt Jackie. I have an aunt that lives in Tennessee who sent us pictures earlier today of the snow on the ground there, which only happens a couple times a year. But I wish I lived somewhere where it only happened a couple times a year. Nicole casting on a cable hat. Dream worsted and fighting. Oh, excellent. Val learning linen stitch. Excellent. Yeah, Leanne, we sympathize a little. So I commented about the new marketplace hours. Like I said, that's really not going to change much as far as we are concerned, except we're going to be open an hour later on Fridays. Food will still be available. Yes, that's one of the big things that we're hoping will transpire, I guess, is that we understand, the food vendors understand, or we're trying to help them understand that for people who work a regular 8 to 5, 9 to 5 job, it's cutting it pretty close to try and think they can get here and get food by 6 o'clock. So hopefully people in the area knowing that we are now going to be open till 7, that's awesome for those of us who do stay late anyway to try and get a little bit more food. But I'm hoping that means a lot of people will come in for dinner instead of just thinking that this is a lunch spot. So, yeah, I'm excited about it. If you're local, I would encourage you to support it and take advantage of it because the only way they are going to know whether it's working or not is whether they get feedback on it. Julie watching on YouTube so I can knit and read my pattern. Josie started a temperature cowl. Oh, cool. That's probably going to be a really big cowl. That'll be interesting though to see. Sarah, one of our cool customers who lives overseas, is knitting a temperature blanket, and she's so full of really cool ideas on what she's going to do with this temperature blanket that she's each row will have a high and a low temperature for the day, and where they shift in the middle changes based on how many hours of daylight. So there will be two lines going all the way up this blanket, but then it will have this curve through the middle of the blanket based on like daylight hours, which I think is really cool. And then she's putting moon phases in there, and it's awesome. It's a lot. She and I spent a lot of time chatting this weekend, and Karen and her husband, that she really doesn't go halfway. If she's going to do something, she's going all in. So super excited to see her progress on that. Malcolm, I don't know if she's doing Fahrenheit or Celsius. I think she's doing Fahrenheit. I know she's doing Fahrenheit because I saw her chart. She's got it all broken down. She's in Italy, so it doesn't get really, really cold. So she's got like 30 and below, and then split up to 90 and above, or 100 and above. I don't remember. She's a girl after my own heart though. So she loves a spreadsheet. So she's got the spreadsheets, and she already has some things pre-filled. Obviously, she knows when moon phases are going to be and times for sunrises, sunsets, that sort of thing. But yeah, she's a she's a weather geek in addition to being a knitting geek. So it's going to be pretty cool. Oh, I was going to say she's got, and I know she doesn't watch this live. Well, she might because she's in Michigan at the moment. So Sarah, if and when you watch this, go ahead and put a link in the comments to your YouTube channel. She's kind of doing a vlog along with this for the process, which I think is pretty cool. So that's what other people are working on. What am I working on? I am working on my ship shape top. I have a half a sleeve. Look, see how it's not on the needles? I'm ripping back. But I got the body done. I like it's got this nice big ribbing at the bottom. I had to, thankfully, I reread the pattern when I was looking at it. It's very well written. It's a Heidi Kiermeier pattern, and it's very well written in terms of identifying what size you do what thing once you understand how she compiles her patterns. But there was one section for the ribbing that got me a little confused. I almost did an extra inch more than I had to, which I got to this point and thought it seems like it's enough, but I reread the pattern and it was enough. I'm having to fudge things a little bit because I ended up with 4 more stitches on my sleeve than Melissa said almost had a typo in that name. Oh, when autocorrect does the other things. Hi, Lisa, Bonnie Cardigan, excellent. So thankfully, at least I have 4 extra stitches on both sleeves, not just one. And so what I'm doing is, for the rate of decreases, because for different sizes, she's got different decrease rates. I'm using the decrease rates for the size that more closely correlates with the actual number of stitches I have. So I'm hoping that all works out. The only thing is, I've not really been paying attention. I got binge watching Netflix last night, and I'm supposed to be doing a decrease. Well, technically I'm supposed to be doing a decrease every 10 rows, but I'm doing it every 12 because I keep not paying attention. But I went way further than I needed to on this. So I was gonna, before I put it back on the needles, I wanted to try it on and show you kind of how it looks so far. It doesn't have a front or a back. It's reversible, so it doesn't have any short rows or anything. Which Karen and I always say that's a good thing because you can, if you spill something on it, just take it off and turn it around. Nobody will know. The pattern does not call for picking up and knitting anything with the collar. It just leaves it rolled the way it is. Diane was in the other day. She had this sweater on. It looked completely different because she didn't stripe hers. She did kind of a color block with just two different colors. And she did pick up and do more of a ribbed neckline. She wanted a little bit higher neckline. I'm not crazy about how this rolls and you see the other color, but I think when it blocks, that will go away. But in just looking at it, I think it's okay. But I like, see if I can do this without getting too many things messed up here. And it looks kind of funny with what I'm wearing under it, but it's a good length. I like the wide ribbing at the bottom. It's just a boxy top. Sleeves are looking decent. They don't seem like they are too big, which is a good thing. So yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to continue on. And the sleeves are going fairly quickly. Of course, Melissa and I were just on Ravelry trying to figure out what my next sweater project is going to be. I could even see doing knitting myself a short sleeve version of this too. I think that would be fun. I'm trying to not make this a short sleeve sweater now. I'm trying to be good and finish it the way it's supposed to be, but I'm really happy with how it's turning out so far. So, as is the case with most of my sweaters, I utilize the heck out of the blue Chigu twist mini set. So that looks like this little guy here. Comes in a little pouch. I know I've talked about it before. And, you know, Anne says I must be freezing. I am not. So for whatever reason, this shop in the middle of this building is where all the heat resides. So it's about 75 degrees in the shop right now. But if you stepped out in the hallway, it's probably about 60 degrees. So for a little while, I had the door open to try and get a little bit of a breeze in here. But yeah, a few of you who were in on Friday may think this looks familiar because I had it on in the shop here on Friday too. Because, well, and I'm doing inventory. So the twist minis come in a set of interchangeables that allows you to make anything from a 9-inch up to a 14-inch circumference for fingerless mitts. Sleeves are primarily what we use them for. You could use them for thicker socks because, well, this set is sizes 4 to 8. And for each size, you get 2 lengths. So you really get, you get a 2-inch and a 3-inch of each of these sizes, which they look little. And when they're on, this is the longest cable with the shortest needle tips. That gets me pretty far with a sleeve. And then I like the fact that because they're interchangeables, I can just take one cable off, put another cable on, and carry on as my sleeves get narrower. But I know you've heard me say it before. This set is, of all the needles I have, this set is what I end up going to more than anything. I do a lot of patterns that are in that size 4 to size 8 range, but they also make the bigger set and the smaller set. So if you're somebody who thinks this would be interesting for socks or sleeves and you use a finer weight yarn, they make the 0s to 3s as a set. And these are the same, that you get the 2 different lengths of the needle tips and the cords. And it makes anywhere from a 9-inch to a 14-inch. The red ones are $126.50. The blue ones are $130. And then there's a yellow set. Those are $89. The yellow set only has one length of tips. I think it's only the 3-inch. Yes, 3-inch tips. And you can make anywhere from a 12-inch to a 14-inch circumference using these. So if you are doing bulkier weight sweaters, you could use them to do some decreases on hats or something like that, or you could use them for bulky mittens until you got to the decrease point. And they look longer than 3 inches. They do. And they don't, I feel like once they're on the cord, they don't seem so tiny. It does take a little bit of getting used to, like any new method. Takes a little getting used to. So I have to put this back on the needles when we're done so I can continue on with that. So that is the one thing that I'm working on. I have not made any progress on that hat I talked about last week because we got snow this weekend, which means Nate, the guy who the hat is for, wasn't able to bring the hat from which I need the bill. So I'm stuck on that. And so in the meantime, I'm trying to decide what accessory, is that the right word? What non-sweater thing I should knit as a shop sample next. Let me see. And the yellow one are 9s through 11s. And they are $89 for the yellow set. So I haven't decided if I'm going to do a shawl or a scarf or a cowl or a hat or mittens. As always, I am open to suggestions or advice from you all. If there's something that you've seen that you think would be a really cool sample or something you feel like we haven't done enough of and you want to see more of, let me know. I'm always looking for something different, something fun. So let's talk about what I'm wearing. I am wearing we had to look up how to pronounce this, Calasona. It's knit out of Barocco Lumi, which is their shiny cotton blend yarn. It comes in these, I guess you call it a cake. It's a DK weight yarn. It's a blend of cotton, polyester, and other fibers, which would be the shiny part. A while back, something for winter or spring, something for Valentine's Day. A while back, I showed the poncho that I made in kind of a pale pink color using this yarn. Barocco sent this as a shop sample, so I did not make it. I can't answer a whole lot of questions about it, but it is a fairly simple tank. It's nice and wide. So this is not nice and wide, that's not what I mean, nice and loose. They say this one is the 42, which would have a little bit of ease for me. But it does have, I'm just looking in the pattern to see if it's back and front are worked flat separately, then shoulder seams are sewn together. Neck and armhole edgings are pick up and work in reverse stockinette. So it's done in 2 pieces and seamed. But it does have some increases in the body. So it's got a slight A-line shape to it. But the armholes are a nice size. It doesn't feel like they're overly, a lot of tanks I've made, like this one here, I made before. And the armhole is a lot bigger and I definitely have to wear something different under it. This one feels pretty good as far as coverage goes. And I wanted to mention that Barocco added some new colors of Lumi. So what else have we used Lumi for? The sweater I'm going to wear, or the top I'm going to wear next week, is Lumi used together with Bamboo Pop. Karen has used it to do her Yume, Yume. sweater that has some lace on the top, and she's pulled one of these to do just the lace with a little bit of sparkle, and then a different yarn for the wisp tank to wear a variety of weather. I'll have to look into that, Mom. Just gives that little bit of sparkle to it. So I'm not going to go over all the colors, but do know that they brought out some new colors. There's a gorgeous pink that already started disappearing off the shelves a little bit on Friday. There's a beautiful new green. There are a couple other colors back there too. So check it out. It's got, Melissa posted the sizes, so it goes anywhere from a 34 up to a, well, went away, a 70-inch bust for this top. So it's quite a range. And there's really not a whole lot to it. It would be a good quick project. Ooh, Leanne says a Valentine pillow. That might be a good idea. I was thinking about that the other day, actually. I was thinking about a pillow. I forgot about that. So thank you for reminding me. I had all the yarns laid out on the table, and then I told myself I wasn't going to start a new project, so I put everything away. I should make myself some notes about the things that I want to make. I try. So that's what I'm wearing. I did also want to mention the reason that I have these two tops here is it is kind of the time that we're starting to think about making spring, summer tops. So this is the, I told as Campana, the Campana top, and that is knit with Barocco Splash, which is the summer version of Dash, which is their heavier version where you get these little pops of color. They came out with some new colors for that. There's a white, there's a different blue, there's a different gray, I think. Yes. So we've got those in stock. And then we did get a few more colors of Summer Sesame in. So this is the, man, you guys, I'm just Etta, E-T-T-A. That's the Etta top. So all three of these actually are DK weight tops, which means you could essentially swap out some of the yarns, do any of these three patterns with any of these three yarns and get a completely different look. So that's kind of fun too. And I'm realizing now that I have like this whole section of tops here, none of which I made. But at least I have a sample with the yarn. That doesn't mean I need to start something new. Okay, so that's, oh, sitting right here. And I almost forgot again. My mama made one of the projects from the Wander Knit. I think it was the Morocco one. Wander Knit kit. So if you're not familiar with Wander Knit, it's a quarterly club where it's put on by Skacel. They pick a different yarn to feature each time, and they pick a different location around the world. So it's been Morocco, Alaska. I can't even remember. But they're doing it quarterly. And so one of the things they also do is for 6 months, they make the pattern exclusive to whoever is in the club. After 6 months, they release the pattern. So now I can talk about this because it is a pattern that's up for general purchase. And I don't remember the name of it because I did not write it down, but I know I sent Melissa a link to it. So one of the projects was these really cool fingerless mitts. It is definitely fingerless mitt season. Got these little cables down the back. It has a pretty well done, well, at least the way my mom knitted it looks pretty good. Obarkia. The thumb gusset is very well constructed. I like the fact that it's got just the reverse stockinette at the tops and bottoms. It still seems to pull in just fine. It's kind of snug, but it's 2 strands of fingering weight yarn held together. So the yarn she used that was part of that that monthly or that kit for the quarter is Haiku's Madrona. So it's alpaca, merino wool, bamboo, and nylon. We have a few skeins in the green that are the only thing left from that. But so you could snag one of those. One skein would be plenty to do it. They're $21 a skein. But any fingering weight yarn would work well. Or the way it's written, it says fingering plus fingering equals DK. So you could technically use a DK weight yarn as well, but they are cozy. And it's just a fun little cable on there. Nice and snug. So Mom's been reminding me to talk about these because of how cool they are, and I keep forgetting. So there's that. Okay, so let's talk about upcoming events. There are a lot of things happening. Oh, my friend Jody's making fun of me because I'm in a sleeveless top, but she missed the part where it's like 75 degrees in my shop right now. I am definitely going to layer up before I step foot out my door, that's for sure. And I'm going to pre-start my car to heat it up. So in no particular order, because I'm not really good at organizing things by dates, but we can talk about next Monday. Let's start there. Next Monday for Monday Motivation, I have invited Joyce Schultz to come and sit with me and talk about sock madness. So it's something that she's participated in quite a few times. She's super excited about it this year. Kind of goes along with the timeline of March Madness, but it's a worldwide sock knitting competition. And there's so much more to it than that. The sign-up window is fairly small. I think it's only like a week. And the sign-up window is in the early part of February. You sign up, you get put on teams. I believe there is no cost to participate. If you make it past a certain round, like if you make it past the qualifying round, you get all of the patterns for free as they're released. Patterns are written specifically for this competition. So next Monday, make sure you make some time to either tune in. There we go, February 1st to 14th, 2 weeks. Either tune in live so you can ask questions and learn more about it, or make sure that you catch the replay so you can hear Joyce talk all about it. So that's next Monday. Joyce is also going to be teaching some classes. I've got her on the books for all kinds of stuff. So the first set of classes that are going starts February 8th. And so for the most part, classes are going to be classes with Joyce will be Thursday afternoons from 2:30 to 4:30. We've got a 3-week class in learning how to continental knit and Norwegian purl. That class starts February 8th, goes for 3 weeks. If it's something you're interested in, let us know right away, or go on our website and sign up right away. We limit the classes to like 4 to 6 people to keep things kind of manageable in the shop here. So continental knitting and Norwegian purling, that's the first set of classes. Then we've got 2 classes that are individual weeks, like February 29th and March 1st, which would be the following 2 Thursdays, are set aside for utilizing the Knit Companion app, preferably on a tablet versus a phone, because it's difficult to see everything on your phone. It's much easier to have a large tablet, but February 29th is an intro to Knit Companion and all that it can do. And maybe, Joyce, we can talk a little bit about that next week too, to give people who aren't familiar with it a more of an idea of why they would want to sign up for a class like that. Knit Companion is a great knitting app that imports your PDF patterns and allows you to manipulate things in a lot of different ways to make your actual knitting more efficient, and just helps kind of break things down for you. So it's a little bit more manageable, I guess. So that's February 29th. The following Thursday, March 1st, is what we're calling like a Knit Companion Level 2 class. So if you are already familiar with the basics of Knit Companion, or have already taken Joyce's class, even if you have taken it just the week before in February. Why does that not seem right? That date does not seem right because there are not enough days between February 29th and March 1st. Somebody will have to double check. March 7th. That's why I'm missing half a thing there. So not March 1st, March 7th is Knit Companion level 2. If it's been a while since you've worked with Knit Companion, or it's been a while since you have taken one of Joyce's classes about it, the level 2 is a great way to re-familiarize yourself with the app itself. And one of the things that's difficult about the app is it has so many features that are that are almost pattern specific. So if you learn all the basics about it, but if you don't use it on a regular basis, it's easy to kind of forget some of the things in there. So those two are coming up. And then in April, she's teaching a double knit class, which she has also taught before. And we're excited about this. She's modified the pattern a little bit. So double knitting is creating a reversible fabric. I know I showed a while back the Cat Love scarf that I started one and never finished it, but Joyce's is here and it's beautiful and it's finished. Jackie had hers here. It was beautiful. But you're knitting 2 pieces of material at the same time that are opposite colors. So, one's white with green dots and one's green with white dots. And there's definitely some skill and some technique involved in that. So that is April 4th through 18th for that class. So one of the other things that is coming up is starting in February, Deb is kind of hosting an informal cable sweater class on Monday evenings. So she's got quite a few people who are interested in knitting cabled sweaters. And so they've all kind of decided that starting in February is when they're going to tackle these projects. So her drop-in knitting Monday nights from 6:30 to 8:30 are not limited to working on cable sweaters. But if it's something that you thought you might be interested in, it's not a bad idea to pop in. It's $10 for 2 hours. You don't have to come every week. You would just drop in whenever you might need help or whenever you want to hang out. Other events coming up. Yarn crawls. We are participating in both the Middle of the Mitten Yarn Crawl and the Heartland Yarn Adventure. I have a little bit more information about the Heartland Yarn Adventure than I do the Middle of the Mitten, but I do have dates for both. So Middle of the Mitten is July 11th through 20th, and that is, I think, 11 shops in kind of the mid-Michigan area. It branches out a little bit in different directions, but that will be, hi, Patty. That will be July 11th through 20th. So it goes a Thursday through the following Saturday. Then we have kind of a week off, and starting Friday, July 26th is the Heartland Yarn Adventure. I can tell you for those, the passports are available. I have it open for pre-ordering the passports. They're $5 again, like they were last year. The Heartland Yarn Adventure, I think, has intimidated some people in the past because it's over 60 shops that participate within a 4-state region. That doesn't mean you have to visit all 60 or even 30 or even 15. You can take a portion of it. And what I have been kind of encouraging people to do is take a portion of it each year. So pick a region and do kind of your own mini shop hop just in that region. We had so many prizes last year that were donated by different vendors. So many winners for things. And it was such a great experience, I think. And for every shop you go to, you get an additional entry into winning the prizes. So almost all the shops on their own will be having drawings, they will be having giveaways, things like that. But there is no purchase required to get your stamp in any shop and then to be entered into the main drawings. As long as you turn in your log at the end of it, so we have some way to track it. So $5 for that. It's also a great resource just to have that book and have a list of 60 plus shops in the 4-state area. But you can do as much or as little as you want with it, which I think is really fun. I had people last year who bought the passport and didn't go anywhere but here. But that got them an entry because they came here and got a stamp from us. So they got them an entry into the prize drawings. And like I said, there were so many prizes last year, and I'm hoping it'll be just as great, if not better, this year. And the prizes were pretty decent last year. So it's worth checking out. Okay, going backwards a little bit. Mark your calendars for April 27th, which is Local Yarn Store Day. We like to call it Little Yarn Shop Day because it's LYS Day. Local Yarn Store Day is a day that we celebrate our customers and our customers celebrate us. And the fact that we love being a small, independently owned brick and mortar yarn store. So I'm not quite sure what we will be planning for that. I haven't figured that out yet, but mark your calendars. We will be doing something fun, I'm sure. I'm hoping I'll have some sort of trunk show. Yeah, I don't know. I have to reach out to some people and figure that out, but it'll be a good time. And usually some of the dyers like Dream and Color, Wonderland Yarns, they do different promotions. Plymouth usually has coupon codes for free pattern downloads. Barocco does the same thing. So yeah, make it a day to come in and chat. We're probably going to take over a section somewhere in the rest of the building to social knit. Hopefully by then, all of the spaces that seem open now will not be open. Pretty much all of the vendor booths here have leases signed on them. It just takes a long time for things to shift over. You will see that if you're local. You'll see some movement happening where Divine Taste of Chicago is where Myrna's Kitchen is relocating to. So they're a little bit further down the aisle. They're moving to the end right outside our door, which is great. Her Philly cheesesteaks and her chicken Philly and her chicken bacon ranch sandwiches are good. She can do them on the bread like you would, or she can do like a lettuce boat. She just got salads. Egg rolls. Myrna makes these egg rolls that are like the chicken Philly or the Philly steak filling in an egg roll. It's delicious. It's, you can't go wrong with deep fried crunchy food. And so then where she is, we are getting a smoothie bowl place. I believe we've got on the docket a soup and salad restaurant also, which would be really cool. Goose Tooth. If you don't follow them on social media, Amberlyn has been posting a few things about that, but where the boardroom is going to be Goose Tooth Co. And it will be like artisan pizzas, appetizers, and tap room. So that'll be a lot of fun. I think she's aiming to open February. I'm not sure. And then the end of May, beginning of June is the Memorial Cup. So I think it's been a while since I've talked about that, but Saginaw is hosting the OHL Memorial Cup, which is basically the Canadian version of the Stanley Cup playoffs, being held here in Saginaw. Third time it's ever been held in the US, and it's going to bring so many people. Probably, if you're local, you've seen mention of it in articles on the news. City of Saginaw and the township and the region are really investing a lot into making sure that people who come from out of town really have a great experience. So we're excited to be right down the road from the Dow Event Center where they're going to be playing, and can't wait for everything that that's going to entail and the number of people that will have kind of a cool introduction to the marketplace and the downtown Saginaw area. And it's going to be awesome. So I think that goes a week long, and that's the end of May, beginning of June. I talked about Joyce doing, so again, as a reminder, make sure you tune in next week, either live or after the fact, go back and watch it, because Joyce will be with me and we'll be talking about Sock Madness. And if I remember, I'm sure she will, that we can chat a little bit about Knit Companion too. I think that's all I have for you guys today. I am very warm. I can't believe how warm it is in here, you guys. But so one thing I will say is, if you're coming into the shop to hang out, dress in layers. We found this last winter, and I was hoping that we kind of avoided it because it seemed pretty reasonable temperature in here so far this winter. But now that it's gotten really cold, things are shifting a little bit. So dress in layers if you're coming in. I don't want anybody overheating in the shop. Granted, you could step out the door and cool off really quickly. And I'm sure once we have our doors open during business hours, that it won't be quite so noticeable. But they have a hard time regulating the temperature in this room and in this building. It's an old building. So yeah, dress in layers. Okay, I hope everybody has a good night and a good week. It's cold. I think no matter where you are, obviously Noel's in Texas and it's cold in Texas. So wherever you are, it's colder than we want it to be. Well, colder than I want it to be. I think the only reason I'm living in Michigan is so I can wear knitwear. But I could crank the air conditioner somewhere and wear knitwear too. So I hope everybody has a good week. If we don't see you here in the shop sometime in the next week, then I will see you all with Joyce back here next Monday at 7. So I hope everybody has a good evening